Okay, after the Civil War, the South was impoverished for a while, but after a few years, the nation still needed the products that the farmers could raise, and the big Cooksey plantation was a big plantation that got divided up, but Uncle Proctor owned a part of it, and he owned it until he died, actually, in the 1950s. The way that they made their money is they either worked on the farm or they had a farm. He was one of the first owners of a tractor. It was a steam engine tractor, if you could imagine such a thing. But and he was a very modern farmer up until about after the turn of the century, when the boll weevil came in and wiped out the cotton. The farmers had no cash crop. It was before tobacco was a cash crop this far south. It was grown, but it was grown in northern Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, but not in Florida until the 1950s or so. So it was tough to survive living on a farm with no cash crop, nothing to sell to create money. So, a lot of the farmers went broke, as Uncle Proctor did.
Yeah. So if he had a steam engine tractor, how did it work? You burn coal, or you burn wood?
Coal, or you burn wood. Anything to heat the water, to make the steam.
That had to be interesting.
Turn the wheels.
Well, did you ever see that thing in action?
It was an old rusted up piece of iron sitting on the farm when I grew up. It never operated during my lifetime. I was born in 1932, and it hadn't run in 20 years by then.
Yeah. Awesome. So there's a great picture of you from 1939 in the Florida Archives with you and your dad. Do you remember anything about that and where?
Me and my dad, that was a picture of me and my dad out there with all this, probably about 20 hogs or pigs. They were mostly grown. I happened to be out there.
They looked bigger than you were.
Yeah, they were. I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And the pigs weighed a lot more than I did. I was a little taller than they were, but I have that picture too. It's from the Florida Archives. There are lots of pictures in the Florida Archives of my ancestors.
Yeah.
Including on my mother's side as well, my father's side, both are in there. Interesting history. We grew up when Florida was probably the least populated state in the South. That was the most populated state in the South.
Hey, well, that's awesome stuff. I'm gonna stop now and start another one.